Goo, hello, welcome to a GBR 2 versus 2. The players are Albert, human, Granty as undead, versus Bomb as human, and Blur as undead. I'm not sure whether they deliberately picked these races or who picked a random. I basically just joined this game and then it started. So it's kind of news to me, but Bomb's doing a very early scout, which is the thing to do really versus Albert and Granty. You need to make sure that they're not being retards, basically, which they will be retards, but you've got to kind of judge what point in the game they're going to be retards. And speaking of retards, that should have been an altar. Granty, retard. So Albert's obviously going for his fast creep on the Goblin Lab. It'd be nice if someone could stop him, but Blur may be able to. That altar isn't too slow, is it? That seems kind of fast for an altar, especially as undead, so he's not too focused on fiends, not just yet. Death Knight, so he does actually have the opportunity, if he goes for it, if he goes straight down, he's got the perfect spot to harass Albert, but he's still got a while to wait, but he's not too far behind, to be fair. Bomb's got a little farm here in between. Don't know whether the peasant got taken out before. Nope. He wanted to stop the farm, just have a little look and see what's going on, and then go back and build the farm, which is fair play. Now we can see Albert and enjoy the fun of this going horribly wrong for him, or at least hoping it does. Okay, there we go. That's a better start. Militia starting it off. No ensnare either, but he needs to sort that out a little bit. The ensnare goes down on a militia at the back, so that's perfectly fine. So this is going about as well as it can do. Death Knight's coming out for Blur, but unfortunately he's going to be too slow to pick up this item. There's not really anything you can do about it, it's just the way it goes, but he has got the opportunity to perhaps take out a militia. That's probably going to be killed by a creep. So he can get a free skeleton rod going at the very least. And now's his time to shine, and he can probably get 2 to 3 maybe peasants. Is what he's kind of looking for. He was denied a kill on one of the peasants there by Albert, so he's got to try and get the last hit. He does there. He gets the experience, 25 experience. Albert obviously a level 2.5, so he's obviously off to a really good start just because of getting this creep camp done. Bomb not doing that creep camp area though. He's going for this instead. Not sure whether that pays off for him in the long run or not. We will keep an eye on that, but Blur does manage to bring down another peasant, and he's pretty much in a good shape to deal with this Death Knight since he's half health now. The Archmage has pretty much been attacking the Death Knight all the time, keeping his health low so he doesn't want to stick around too long. There's another militia about to go down. Oh, so close. And he manages to get that militia. Oh, even then, the range. I did think that was going to go down there. So Bomb's getting himself an arcane vault, lumber mill. He's getting ready to not tech just yet, but he's obviously building up towards it. Wants to aim for that, and he's rightfully getting the arcane tower just in case any ghouls want to slip in and be annoying. But he's down here at the moment, trying to harass a little bit. He's level 1 Archmage still, yet to be level 2. So you really have got to do the Goblin Lab. It's too good, basically. It's obviously a bit broken, this map for human at the start. The Goblin Lab is just way too good, because you shouldn't really be able to get like level 2.5 within like the first, 15 to 20 seconds of your hero coming out. There's obviously something a little bit broken there, but Blizzard haven't decided to change that, so they're obviously happy with that. So yeah, that's a little bit dodgy though, to be honest. Oh, another peasant goes down. Death Knight feasting on the experience. Bit by bit, he's going to get them. I hear a lot of peasants going down. But his experience isn't going up, so I'm not sure. Is that just Bomb taking all the experience because Blur wasn't near it? I don't know. I guess that must have been the case. because that's why I was keeping an eye on Blur's experience bar. But anyway, the scout tower goes down, so that's a little bit of denial there. Fiends are in here, they're going to be nice and annoying. 3 fiends is enough to sort of do a bit of focus and then run and micro focus, but there's a lot of footmen to sit on those fiends, which is what they need to do really, and then it stops the fiends from just comfortably DPSing. Granty's coming in here though, he's got fiends of his own, which is weird. Normally has ghouls, so unfortunately this arcade tower isn't going to be as useful, at least not at this point. And chasing away Bomb and Blur for the moment. They might be set up to try and take this camp on, but Bomb and Blur need to be aware of trying to stop them if they are going to go for that spot, especially since they're able to take Militia as well to help them creep it and guarantee it. We've got Arcane Vaults, so just basically standard stuff getting built now. Is he going to do it, isn't he? Bomb's trying to put some pressure in Granty's base. It's not going to be an easy job for him, to be honest. This Archmage is going to get into a little bit of trouble. He's going to get an Acolyte kill here, but unfortunately the Halls of Dead is almost finished, so he'll be able to replenish that Acolyte very shortly afterwards. Albert slowly taking out the little Troll Trappers and then going for the Warlord last. That's one dead footman. No, going to get a little bit... Yeah, okay, fair enough. Where's that Acolyte? Oh, I see. Bomb had to use his TP to get out, so slightly overcommitted there, I reckon. It's just not really worthwhile. But there you go, Scourgebone Chimes. Not the best item, I guess, regarding what they have. In fact, that's got sold straight off, even though Albert has a stupid amount of gold, so I'm not sure if that was necessary to sell it. I'd be more concerned about selling it if I wanted to save the space and I didn't have much gold. But it could still be useful up until that point where you want to get rid of it. Blur is taking out the Goblin Lab. He's actually not doing too bad. On his way to level 3. Albert must be level 3 now. And Granty's got level 2.5 Death Knight. So he's about the same as Blur on that respect. They both got about the same amount of Fiends. Exactly the same Death Knight situation. But Granty's now going to progress to level 3, no doubt, in a moment. If it isn't from that, it's going to be from one of these. Not bad items. Certainly not too bad. 300 mana is quite a few coils. 4 coils, in fact. So yeah, if you get a level 5 Death Knight, that could be a lot of damage. A lot of damage. What's that? 1200 damage basically from that one item. Obviously, you have to take the cooldown into account. So is this an expansion or is this just clearing for the time being? Let's have a look at what the militia are going to be doing. The wood situation, probably not an expansion straight off, but maybe moving into that. A reveal being used here, but I don't see anyone by a Goblin Laboratory who would do it. Ah, Bomb, there we go. It's hard to tell. You have to actually look at the Goblin Lab. If you look at the minimap, you can't really see that far. These cheat colours, what are they like? All the decent creep camps are basically going down now. There won't be too many left actually, so that should inspire a bit of a battle between the two teams. Tome of Experience, that's nice. It's going on a Lich, knock it up to level 2 instead of the Death Knight. I don't think that's necessarily the wrong choice. I'm not sure. What is the right or wrong choice in that situation? Should you give it to the Death Knight, who probably won't even hit level 4 from it, but it's still getting him that much closer to level 5. There's a bit of a situation here with that Death Knight. Oh, I'm glad Blur saw that in time. If he was just a little bit late, his Death Knight would have been in trouble, but at the moment it's just a Fiend. He could turn around, maybe kill a footman or two, but it looks like he's not going to react. Oh, that's a little unlucky. That's one of the most annoying things in the world, and that's also incredibly annoying and unlucky. He's possibly going to lose this Lich for free just because it was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But when you coil something, the coil kind of hits it, but it doesn't actually go off the heal effect, and it dies. It's like so depressing when that happens. Ooh, now we have a proper battle going on. But I'd say that Granty and Albert have a slightly head start, getting a free hero kill and a fiend kill. They're in a good position right now. So these guys, Blur and Bomb, are going to back off a little bit. Both got a Zeppelin, so they want to try and pick up weak units, which is a good idea if you can actually manage it. But not necessarily, because if Blur's got web, he could actually screw them over. If you web the Zeppelin, you don't necessarily have to kill it. Bear this in mind, that if you web that Zeppelin, it's going to stay webbed. It doesn't the units can't get out. You can't escape. So if there's like 8 units in it and a hero and you keep it webbed, you can basically keep out half the army at least permanently out of a battle, and they can't do anything about it because it's stuck being webbed inside of that Zeppelin. So that's something to bear in mind if you're ever dealing with a Zeppelin. It can be countered, but it's very effective. It's kind of cheap as well, I think. It's not, I mean, almost 300 gold isn't exactly cheap, but for what you can get out of it, the potential from a Zeppelin, I'd say it's money well spent, really. Think of it like a staff of preservation or something like that, but you can sort of use it all the time. So it's only if the enemy have got like a really strong counter to the Zeppelin, should you not bother, but otherwise it might be worth the risk. Against Fiends it's a bit of a risk, but if you're not even against Fiends or something like that and you're just against straight up anti-air like archers or headhunters, but they can't realistically hit the Zeppelin all the time, you'll probably be able to get away with it a bit easier. But against Web there's a risk there. Statue's getting whacked on quite nicely by this Arcane Tower by 20 mana per hit, and that's hurting him quite a bit as well. Look at the health. Granny is not moving that statue back. It's basically going to be soloed in a moment by this tower. Yep. Down it goes. That was an unnecessary waste. This is a somewhat late TP, but they will be able to get back in time because there's enough peasants to keep it healed, and this could be the win. All you need is a perfect TP and a win, and that is going to be harsh, but at least you'll be able to use Invulnerability Pot to keep his Archmage alive a little bit longer, but that TP actually probably hurt him more than it did him any favours. We got Blur in a better position though. He's kind of hanging at the back here. Fiends protected by the buildings a little bit too. Militia coming around. Albert and Granty sort of getting a little overwhelmed in this situation, but they're still okay, holding their ground. Archmage sitting there with the Frost Armor, getting healed currently, so he's not going to be a very easy target to nuke down just yet. It looks like Blur's Destroyer is about to go down. That's unlucky for him because there is one more Destroyer, but the rate of devouring units and getting rid of those skeletons and such is going to be slightly slow with just one Destroyer, and the coil actually went off that time and the Fiend didn't necessarily die. That's nice. But I think it was currently burrowed, and it's just a way to get it out of burrow. And down goes the Mountain King. In this situation, Blur's still got quite a few Fiends. He's probably got the majority of the army, but Albert's still got a fairly good chunk. He's got a few priests, a spell breaker. He's not doing too bad himself. Lots of water elementals up. Granty hasn't got many units left, and Bomb has pretty much lost his Archmage in this situation and has possibly not got any units left. I can't really see anything for Bomb at the moment on the map. He's kind of scrapped for cash. Let's find out whether Blur could maybe bail him out a little bit. He could, especially if he lost one food. That'd be nice, because that's costing him an extra 30% really in tax. Granty's also in a perfect position here. Bomb has got a slightly risky expansion. Now, whilst this is a nice expansion, to have an expansion, it's going to give Granty experience, and it's come at the worst time possible because Bomb is in a situation where he actually needs to basically repair and recover from the attacks and the losses currently. At least Granty has been forced back, and it means that more peasants can come out, but he's going to be aware and is probably going to try and harass that next time he can. But at least Blur has a decent sized army to actually help defend versus that. Albert's getting a decent chunk of spell breakers and casters, what a surprise. But then why would you do anything else as human? Pretty ridiculously solid strat there, to be honest. I'm not sure what that reference is. There you go. So, Albert's almost soon to level 5. Level 5 Archmage is basically a pretty strong place to be, I've got to be honest. I love it when my Archmage hits level 5. Level 3 Water Elemental spam, get 3 of those bad boys out. It's just ridiculous. Now the Destroyers are going to at least make it a bit tricky for the Water Elementals to exist in this plane, but I still don't think 2 are enough to get rid of them very quickly or efficiently, especially in the heat of a battle. It's going to take time, and you might get webbed and possibly lose a Destroyer in between that time. So for the moment, I'd say those Water Elementals are going to be safe. Level 3 Lich, that should be a level 2 Nova, unless he wants to focus on... Ooh, I wondered that Zeppelin was for Blur a moment there. That way he could have escaped with all of his units intact. See, that sort of thing would save you using the TP. Something to consider, but... Granty's gone for third hero. Not sure that's going to backfire on him or not. I suppose they're technically in a position where they're winning this right now. But they're not straight winning this. It's just they've got an advantage. That's kind of how I see their position right now. They're slightly stronger after the battles that have currently happened between the two teams. But they're certainly not crushing it. Anubis, you're a bad person. I see you are. A bad person in real life. So Bomb, pretty much recognizing that this expansion is not going to last for too long, is deciding to shift up over to this one. But unfortunately he's still scrapped for cash, and he's in a situation where he has to decide whether to try and get another expansion going. But it could go down very quickly at this point because the enemy team obviously have quite large armies, both sitting around the 50 food cap, so they can bring down an expansion pretty quickly if they're both focusing it. Or does he invest in units? But he is going for upgrades here, which is cheap on the gold, but also productive, and it allows him to get the expansion running. Oh, we're going to need a little TP here from Blur, and they're just going to need to basically at least survive this in order to stay in the game, quite obviously. But that's kind of a all-in there. They've got a very strong combination. They've got statues, they've got fiends doing the DPS, the spellbreakers can control the heroes, the mana, the such and such. There's lots of heroes, all pretty powerful at this point. So close to level 5 as well. Death Knight not quite so much. Keep is getting battered a little bit, but it's still hanging in there. Looks like Bomb's getting ready. Blur's TPing in, much better position here. Now the two players can dominate this area. They just need the militia to come out as well. That's going to help deflect some of the damage, hopefully. But the spellbreakers are going to town a bit. Mountain King's going to have to hang back a little bit. Hits level 3, might be able to get a level 2 Stormbolt out before he possibly dies. We'll keep an eye on that. Albert still hasn't hit that level 5 point. Was probably really hoping he might get some sort of kill before his TP goes off here. But that was good. Good defense there. They definitely needed that. Blur and Bomb are now basically on even grounds, I would say, after that. That's exactly what you needed. You just needed that so much. And he's got this expansion running again. Now, Albert has his own expansion, but I'd say that Bomb's slightly got more gold overall so far this game. That expansion down there was probably still worth it, despite possibly giving away a bit of a experience and such. I'd say it was still worthwhile. There's 3 destroyers now, not 2. So that Devourer is going to start munching away on those frost water elementals. And Bomb and Blur look like it's their turn to possibly be aggressive. And they're moving out, but they're obviously not moving out against an undead base. That would be suicide. So they're going to look for an opportunity to either catch the enemy players or to come across the most likely place that they would put an expansion. Bomb is going for a... No, he's going to take 2 sappers. That's quite an investment, I've got to be honest. They're like 250 gold and 100 wood each. So 500 gold and 200 wood spent there. And sometimes, in fact most of the time, they suck. But in rare occasions they might be good. Such as now, that's actually looking quite good there, especially since it's possibly going to food cap Granty. I didn't quite food cap him, but if it did a food cap, that would have been pretty damn good. Oh, the Lich might go down. It definitely goes down. Blurred TP's out, but without the Lich, it's an ugly place to be. But Bomb's obviously going to take his chance here, whilst the other 2 players aren't anywhere near, well, not quite near enough to react straight away. He's going to move in here. There's still not going to be a food cap, but he might be able to take down an Acolyte or 2. The graveyard goes down, so that's actually going to stop the production of fiends, at least for the time being. But destroyers can still be taken. You don't need a graveyard for that. And Bomb wisely TPing out before he loses anything else. So these 2 teams are kind of on even ground. Let's see, 50 food for Granty. 51 food. I don't know what this 51 food is all about. 51 food for Albert. Just... stop making the peasant if you're on 51 food. Seriously. 59 food for Bomb and 57 food for Blur. So Bomb and Blur are actually slightly ahead on food count, but that could possibly be on. He really likes these sappers. But you see what I mean?
What the fuck?
Okay, there's 500 gold there. 500 gold, 200 wood. Thomas, it's just gone down the train. 2 sappers taken out for nothing. GG. Now we've got attacks going on either side of the bases.
What the hell are you doing?
Why are you in bed? Lazy git. I should be the one in bed. But yeah.
You can go to bed if you want.
It's a 2 versus 2. No, I can't. It's impossible. At least not for another hour or 2. Until then, it's impossible. So we've got attacks going on. The castle's going down fast over here. I wasn't expecting. I was going to say that Albert has a bit more of a chance, even though it's not being repaired. That is only a well, that's a castle. It's a pretty beefy thing, but it looks like they've got the castle down. They're going to TP in and hopefully, well, I say hopefully get a good spot. And they both have done in the right place. So they've both gone to the left-hand side, which means they're not going to be too far away from each other. Albert's
Not interrupted your record and all that.
yeah, you did a little bit. I would say you would. You did, yes.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. But there you go. So we got a situation here where Bomb and Blur were basically on the back foot for the most part of the game, but thanks to a TP about mid of the way through the game, they actually sort of came back a little bit, or at least got onto even grounds, and now through the right choices on attacking expansions and such, they are actually deciding that they might want to win this game. So Albert going for the the third hero, should I say, Paladin, level 1. Obviously Holy Light first. Might get Defiant Shield and use him as sort of bait to try and lure some coils and such and waste some spells from the enemy team. Now Bomb and Blur are moving in. They have a pretty powerful force, especially with the ghouls combined with all of that going on. That's pretty hard to stop. These two teams, or rather Granty and Albert's team, are probably a little concerned. They're not going to go into this next fight thinking they've got this by any means. They're going to be quite concerned indeed. They need a good position, and they've got an Ogre Mauler to get in there and possibly deflect some damage. He can certainly take a few hits at 850 health. So Zeppelin moving in first, letting them know they're coming. Mana Zeppelin. Oh, that's not such a bad position for Albert and Granty, but it's also kind of a better position for Blur. Yes, down goes the Death Knight. Pretty awkward for him, I would say. He got a little bit ahead of himself, and he pretty much couldn't get out of that situation. Albert has got a Mountain King right in the middle here. It's going to get focused, but at least he got the Thunderclap off and made it look like he was doing something good. Oh, this looks real messy over here at the moment, but I'd still say that Bomb and Blur are in a great position. Both their main heroes are still going strong. They're not going to be killed anytime soon. Even the Lich is getting a little bit focused, but he's able to move back and get out of danger's way. There's so many destroyers here, it's kind of hard to tell whose is who, but Granty's and Blur's are both sort of webbed and still alive and going on. But Bomb's definitely got a nice sort of reliable army here sitting at the back doing some DPS. Albert's moving back bit by bit. I think they're gradually realising that they're on losing terms here. Archmage forced to use the invulnerability pot and possibly going to TP out, but I think at this point, oh, that was a nice little nuke there though. Actually took out Bomb's Mountain King, so that's a level 4 Mountain King taken down. That's pretty good. Not too shabby at all. But I'd still say that Bomb and Blur have got this at this point. All they need to do is basically deny expansions. If you were to go and attack the undead base, you could potentially throw it away. They're still strong enough that they could probably survive, but it isn't really worth the risk. Your number one priority is to simply make sure that your opponent has no more economy, and that castle went down. They definitely know that, so at the very least there may be another town hall being built, but it's being built. That's the point. It's slow, it's not set up, it's not consistently bringing in cash like this expansion is, or was. This expansion's going down. 1,000 gold though still for town hall, for Albert rather, for his town hall. And there's not much he's going to be doing with that, apparently, because he doesn't seem to want to build anything. Is he not decided? Maybe he's going to feed Granty, we're going to see. Yeah, 23 gold. Oh, there we go, he does. See that? Went from 23 gold to 1,000 gold, so he's actually giving Granty all of his gold right now, and Granty's not really in a position where he can utilise it. He's only got one slaughterhouse. He kind of needs like double slaughterhouse or something to go crazy with that. But yeah, he's are back against the ropes at this position. They are actually pressing against Granty's base. They are that confident. They have got a nice arc. Even the sappers are coming back. Oh, it almost got screwed over there. Another sapper, down it goes. If they do get unnoticed, especially by the undead towers, then they can be amazing. And down goes Albert's hero. I'm pretty damn sure that is a GG. Yeah, there's not really any coming back from this. There's a mana teleport. I like that. Yep. And Granty, frost armor won't stop your lich from dying, that's for sure. Level 6 Death Knight might even be able to throw down another animate dead if the cooldown is finished. I know he would do if he could, but the cooldown must still be up. So we're just waiting on Albert to leave, or is he going to be bad mannered and take ages to leave like he normally does? If he takes more than like a minute, then I'm just coming out of this anyway, because it's obviously over. We can see the bomb. Level 6 Archmage, level 4 Mountain King that might... I don't know where the Mountain King is. Am I just missing it, or has he just not rebuilt it or something? Ah, there he is. There's my boy. So we've got level 6 DK and level 5 Lich as well. Very powerful indeed. Bit of smack talk going down. And there's the GG. So thanks for watching. This has been WTii. Please subscribe, like and comment, and I will see you later.